Welcome to First Garden, New Gardener. I'm Joy Barrett. You can have an in-ground garden, raised bed garden, in addition to containers on your porch, patio, or deck. We're going to take a root maker grow bag here. This is a 10-gallon grow bag that we had planted and we had beets in last year, and we're going to convert that over into romaine lettuce this year, or early portions of this year. So what do we need to do in order to get our soil to where it needs to be in order to grow the best vegetables that we can? Well, first we need to remove the vegetation, what may be left here in the container. That can go to compost, that's good. Now this container, as you can see, is not all the way full. That's okay. We don't need this to be level full, because as it rains, as you water, that will cause the water to cascade off the side and not percolate into the soil. So this soil is we revitalized it last year. You can remove 50% of this soil and put new soil in it, or in this instance, we could top it off and add another inch or two of compost to it, which we will not do because we know this soil is very good. Now, with container soil, as you water, as it rains, the water goes through the soil and removes nutrients and leaches the soil of the vital things that the plants need. So especially, even if you have if you've just started this with a compost or a potting soil mix, you want to add some type of fertilizer into it in order to supplement that nutrient loss in which you're going to get when it rains or you water. So we've got this container here. This is a 3-gallon, and all it had was a couple of short season flowers. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take and top this off. Now, true enough that all this soil has had some leaching of nutrients, but you use what you have. So that adds a little bit more there. That looks good. Now with romaine lettuce, you want to plant it as soon as you can get it in the ground and the temperatures are warm enough, because it does and will go to seed or bolt. There are 3 plants in this container that we purchased. If you're going to your garden center is charged by the container, not by the number of plants in the container. So keep that in mind. If you can get something that has 2 or 3 or 4 plants in it, you're stretching your dollar farther. Now the problem is, how do you get them apart? Well, you let the container dry, as we have here. You can see the plants are very wilty. That will allow the soil to start to fall away from the root system. And then once you get to that point, you just shake it somewhat vigorously, and they all fall apart without damaging the roots too much. And even with some root damage, you're not going to kill the plant. Now in this pot, it is 12 inches across, so we're going to put 3 of these romaine plants in here. First, I want to make the holes, and we're just going to go the same depth in which they were in the container that we purchased, and we're going to add some fertilizer. Now this is an Ivy Organic 6 Macro Plus fertilizer. It has so I'm just going to take the recommended rate based on the back of the package, put it in the hole. Now when you plant anything, whether in ground, container, or raised bed, you want to tease where you have planted. You don't want to put that plant right on that fertilizer because it can burn the plant. So we just want to mix it in slightly. And as you can see with this leaf here, it's crinkled, it's fell apart. It'll be fine. This one's a little weak too, so don't worry about that. They're slightly damaged, but they're going to be fine. Now you're thinking that I'm planting 3 in this container here. Seems like there's a lot of room for 4 or 5 more, and there is. We can get another one here and another one here, because as they grow, they're going to grow up into a big shrub. So that's what I'll do a little bit later, because I want these to get established. Then I'll bring a couple of more in so I can succession plant, meaning I plant a couple now, wait a week, plant a couple of more, so I don't have all 5 of them ready to go at the same time, because that's a lot of lettuce to consume. So growing in containers, we want to water this now, and the more soil you have in a container, the longer that moisture is going to hold in that soil. The smaller the amount, this is going to dry out a lot quicker than this will because of the size. Also, color of the container does dictate the amount of moisture that gets evaporated out. This has a heat-tempered coating, this white here, so it actually keeps the soil cooler versus this black plastic that absorbs the heat. So that is a key factor too in the amount of watering in which you need to do. So containers, it can be done very easily. You can grow a lot of vegetables in a small space on your porch, patio, or deck. I'm Joy Barrett. Thanks for watching. This has been First Garden, New Gardener.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.